Hey everyone, I just wanted to hop in here and make a video to give you a guide to help you through this coronavirus panic regarding our private practices. So with all this going on, many of us are looking to telehealth as an answer to stay safe from the coronavirus. So you may start to notice more clients canceling due to the CDC's recommendations to practice social distancing and to avoid being out amongst people, particularly in places like waiting rooms where our clients have to come to see us. So many of us do take insurance in our private practices, so this makes things significantly more complicated if you're attempting to go all online, especially for the first time with your practice. So I wanted to create this sort of quick start guide to help you navigate the insurance world in the wake of the coronavirus. So first, you'll want to look at all of your insurance claims and sort them by insurance company. So a lot of us use EHRs. You can go into your EHR and you can figure out how to sort by insurance company and see which clients have which types of policies and by which company. So I would start there, and then next for each client, write down the provider phone number from their insurance card and their policy ID number and the date of birth on their card, or the date of birth in your EHR system. So write all that stuff down and keep that information with you because you're going to need all of that when you call the insurance companies. I did this when I first started out online and it saved me a lot of time. So I just had a whole list of all my Anthem people. I called up Anthem, I got a provider, and I just went through every single policy with the date of birth and checked all the telehealth benefits. So I would recommend doing it that way. It's going to save you a lot of time so you don't have to, hang up, call back, be on hold, find a rep, and then go through the whole thing that you're looking for telehealth benefits. So next, I would then prioritize which companies to call first. I would probably recommend calling Anthem and Aetna first just because they're the ones that are going to cause you the most problems when you're trying to go to telehealth. So these two companies are notorious for not always covering telehealth in the traditional way. And by traditional, I mean through a HIPAA-compliant platform of your choosing. Oftentimes, Anthem and Aetna want you to use third-party vendors like Teladoc, MDLive, that sort of thing. And in this situation, it's just not going to be possible because you have to get separately credentialed with those platforms. So it's not something that's going to happen quickly. So you're going to want to know which of your clients you can see and you can't see using their insurance. So I would start with Aetna and Anthem. Next, I would call your Medicaid and Medicare plans and see if they're supporting telehealth right now with what's going on. Medicare is notoriously difficult because they require you to be at an originating site to see, or your clients to be at an originating site to be able to see people for telehealth. I've heard some rumors that they're going to waive that soon, and I'm hoping that's going to happen. But I would definitely encourage you guys to call and ask and advocate for that. Some Medicaids in some states do already allow it. In Virginia, I haven't had a problem with Medicaid covering telehealth, but I would definitely call all those policies and make sure. And lastly, I would suggest calling Cigna and United Behavioral Health or Optum. It's the same thing, calling them last because traditionally they just do cover telehealth without requiring a third-party vendor. So you're probably going to be good to go with people that have that policy, but you still want to call and check no matter what because some insurance companies or some policies have telehealth just completely excluded. So there's nothing the insurance company could do about that if it's not on the policy. Next, when you call the insurance companies, you're going to want to ask some specific questions. So you're going to want to say, does this policy cover telehealth or video counseling? And you will get varied answers. Sometimes the reps don't know what you're talking about. So you're going to have to think of creative ways to say it, video counseling, telemental health, just go through it and be persistent until you get an answer from them about it. So the next question is you're going to ask if you can use your own HIPAA compliant platform or do you need to use a third-party vendor. So this is going to be really important to know. If you're required to use a third-party vendor and you try to build these sessions, you're not going to get reimbursed for them. So you need to know that up front. Next, you want to ask the representative, what modifier do I need to use to bill for telehealth sessions? Sometimes they're going to say, I can't tell you a modifier. So instead of just saying, okay, never mind, just ask them, What about a 90837 with the modifier GT or the modifier 95? Can you go and look that up for me and see if it's covered? And they can go out and look and tell you if the modifier is covered if they can't tell you specifically what modifier to use. So after all that, the last thing you want to do is make sure you get a confirmation number. Make sure you write it down. Make sure you keep this in a safe place, because if these claims get denied, you're going to want to come back later and say, I got a confirmation number saying that you did cover telehealth. So after that, you're going to want to make a list of which clients you can see through their insurance and which clients you cannot see through their insurance, depending on their telehealth benefits. So once you have all that, set that aside and then decide what you're going to do. How are you going to see these clients? So you're going to need to decide which telehealth platform you want to use to see your clients. So I was looking on Facebook earlier today, and I saw in another group somebody put a list together of some telehealth options. So I was just going to run through them. Doxy.me, VC, GoToMeeting, Zoom, if it's the healthcare option, which is $200 a month, Google Hangouts, Google Meet, Regroup's an option, and then if you're using your EHR, a lot of times they already have telehealth built in, so Theranos, Simple Practice, iTherapy. I'm probably forgetting a couple, but you get the gist of it. If you're already on an EHR, a lot of times they've already got the telehealth there for you. So the next thing you want is just to make sure you have a really good Wi-Fi connection, because that's one thing I found in my telehealth sessions. If the Wi-Fi isn't good, it's really hard to keep that therapeutic rapport going with somebody. So make sure that's up to par. After you decide all that, the next step would be to start calling your clients and explain that you're going to be implementing a telehealth policy in your practice just to keep everyone safe while this coronavirus thing is going on. So for the clients that have telehealth coverage, let them know you'll attempt to bill their insurance based on the information you were given when you called their insurance company. But also do a little disclaimer that you checked and hopefully it's going to be covered. That's what you were told, but there's always a chance that they may not. So you just want your clients to know that up front in case you have to come back and say, hey, I wasn't reimbursed and I'm going to need to charge you for the session. And for those that you find out do not have coverage, you can explain the situation to them. You can let them know to call their insurance companies and advocate for themselves, request exceptions in the wake of the pandemic, and see if their insurance companies will waive the telehealth policy. Sometimes that works. But if you do have them call, make sure you get them to get a confirmation number if they're given permission to do that. And then for those of your clients that do not have coverage, you can have them sign an insurance opt-out form. So I would just say if you do that, make sure on the insurance opt-out form you make it very clear why they're opting out. So you can say opting out because of the coronavirus pandemic and their policy does not cover telehealth and I need to see them still, for continuity of care or however you want to put that. And also, if they're opting out of their insurance and they can't afford your self-pay rate, you can negotiate with them on a sliding scale basis and just, make it very specific to what's going on right now. We're doing the sliding scale during this time that we're doing telehealth, and, we'll resume back to regular rates and insurance billing once the client can come back in the office. So, I would just have that all documented. Also, you want to be really careful about phone sessions. So in many states, phone therapy is not considered therapy. So you can get in trouble for doing it that way. So I would just caution you to check your state guidelines, your board's guidelines around what's therapy and what's not therapy. In Virginia, it has to be face-to-face. So I couldn't have a phone session and then bill for that. So just wanted to let you know that too, to be really careful about that. It's real tempting just to hop on the phone when the clients can't come into the office. And lastly, just a note on billing. When you do submit your insurance claims for telehealth, there are two things you're going to do differently. One, you're going to change the location code and you're going to make it 02, which indicates it's a telehealth session. And then you're also going to change the modifier. You're going to add a modifier to the 90837 or whatever code you're billing. You're going to put a GT or a 95, depending on what your insurance company wants you to use. I always use GT. I've never had any trouble not being reimbursed. So, I would say you're probably safe using that, but always check when you call and do the benefits checks that I talked about earlier. So I hope this helps ease some anxiety. I'm here to help walk you through it. The telehealth insurance billing page is here to help. Everybody's really knowledgeable and can give you some information on this. Feel free to message me. I can help you that way as well. Okay, take care and good luck with all this.